Hi, welcome back to our channel. I am Kimmy. If you have not seen us before, this is my husband, Josh. My husband, Josh. My husband, Josh. Sorry.
She forgot my name for a second there.
Yeah, apparently. I don't call him by his name. But anyways, so I noticed that I was getting a lot of questions on our video from Move from Cali to Iowa. So I figured that I could go ahead and answer them for the whole world. I've answered them to these people, but we're going to go ahead and answer them for you guys. So, first question I saw was, how long did it take us? I don't know how many hours, but I know it took us at least, 2 days? Or almost a day and a half.
We made it in 32 hours with an 8-hour nap break in between. So 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
We stopped, slept for 8 hours, 12 hours. We're here.
Yeah. And that was with stopping at different places here and there to have at least a dinner. How's Iowa so far? So Josh grew up here, so Iowa is okay with him. Iowa for me is kind of different because I grew up in the city, and where we live is strictly all country, and it's small town. There's only one place to eat here, and so it's a lot different versus being in the city. You have to travel by car to get to anywhere around here, versus being in a city. And some know that I've struggled with homesickness and anxiety and all that kind of stuff from it. So I'm getting used to it. It's Iowa. It's where my husband is, and I love him.
Iowa's got cities and stuff like that too. It's just where we live. We're in a small town. Also, to compare would be if in California you have a 1,300 square foot apartment and you're paying $1,700 a month. Here in Iowa, you'd be paying close to $600-700.
Yeah, our house is a 2-bedroom and 1 bath, and I was living in an apartment that was 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and it was almost $700. And here it's only $300 or $400 for us, so it's not that bad. So our next question would be, how much gas did we use? And that was from Samantha Simon.
I think we probably filled up 5 times. So we left with a full tank.
Well, it was 3 to 4 times, I feel.
4 or 5. Because I get about 380 miles to the tank of gas. And it's roughly 1,600 miles. So yeah, 4 times.
I feel like we were always at a gas station though. But then again, I slept most of the ride. So every time I woke up, we were at our stopping point for gas. So that could be why.
The best gas station to go to would be Love's and what's the name of that other one?
Is it Casey's?
Cubby's. No, Casey's what we wouldn't have seen until we got here.
Yeah.
Cubby's. It was another little truck stop gas station there. Pretty nice and cheap.
Yeah. Next question was, what has been your experience so far in Iowa? And that's from Lanzam. Don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but I'm giving you a shout out. Like I said before, it's just different. And I'm used to all city versus strictly country. I've been here 2 years now, and I'm kind of getting used to it because we've started decorating our house and redoing it and all this kind of stuff. So it's just different. If you've grown up in the city all your life and you've gone from that to out of nowhere, out in the boonies, it's a culture shock. But I'm getting used to it. Someday I'll get used to it.
The biggest experiences or changes that you would probably feel if you did move would be the people are 10 times nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, I can't tell you how many nights we've left cars unlocked, a house unlocked, not once gotten broken into. In California, that would be a golden ticket for someone walking by.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, people are a lot nicer here. They accepted me like real easy, accepted my mom. And in this little town, there's not very many African American, I guess you could say. I think we're like 2 of like maybe 6. So, but they're all really nice here. They opened us with open arms. Like, they're not disrespectful. You don't see a lot of people treating people wrong. If somebody's pulled off on the side of the road and they're just sitting there, like, somebody will come up and help you and like just try to get you back on the road. They did it for us when he got a flat one night when I was coming home from school. So they're just really nice here. It's just really different versus being way out in California and other places, but everybody knows that some people in California are stuck up, so oh well. Basically, do you like it here? It goes back to all the other 2 questions here. I'm growing to like it. My husband's here. I'm gonna start my family here. It's what it is. Our animals are here. My mom is here. So once she came, it made it seem like a little more like family was getting closer to me versus further away, because it is a big distance between us. I don't know how many miles it is. Do you know?
Between what?
California here.
I said earlier, like 1,600 or something around there.
Oh, okay. What part of California did we travel from? Sam also entered that question.
That was travel from the Sacramento area, right off of 80, so it made the travel really nice, because I don't know if everybody's aware, but Interstate 80 goes from California to Chicago. So jump on 80, stay on signs to say I-80, and we're here.
Yeah. And Warboy just said it's a long drive. Yeah, I would say so, but of course I didn't drive it. He did.
Is that a question or a statement?
It's a statement.
It was a nice drive, though.
Yeah.
Especially when she was asleep.
I like to talk when we're on road trips and play like games like I Spy, all those kind of stuff. And which, if you watch the video on us moving from Cali to here, we did play I Spy, but for the rest of that entire video, I was asleep. I don't even think I woke up until we got to Nebraska. Maybe I woke up here and there, like, because I locked you out of the car.
I did it where we left at night, so we wouldn't have to deal with as much traffic. So we drove from 9 p.m. till noon the next day, and that's when we made our first stop. And noon until like 7, or we stayed from noon till about 9 p.m. and then we got to our location at like 7 a.m.
So, some tips that we wanted to give you guys, if you're making a long road trip, it doesn't matter where you're going. Like, if you're driving, basically, these are some good tips to use. What you want to do is stock up on snacks, like from the dollar store, so that way you can have like little snacks that you can give out to your kids, your driver, whoever's driving with you or riding in the car with you. Just something small that they can have real quick so that it can fill them up a little bit. So that way you're not constantly stopping at restaurants or McDonald's or anything like that. So that's what I would think would help. And also, before you get started, set your goal. Like, say you want to make it to point A by the next morning, then set that as your goal and try to get there. But if it's not reasonable, don't try it. Don't push your limits and whatnot. I think when he did it, his goal was to at least get out of Nevada by the first night.
Which we ended up in Wyoming.
Yeah, he went a little further, but
another good thing would be watching your gas tank. Yeah. What I did is usually when I got to a quarter tank, I'd fill up because you never know the stretches in between towns and between gas stations. If the next town looks sketchy or not, so get gas while you can. Start looking at about a quarter of a tank.
yeah. Also would be to, like he just said, like just watch where you're going to the gas stations at. Like some of them have towns that have gas stations in them, but the town may not be well lit up, and you don't know anybody in that town, obviously, and you don't know what that gas station is going to be like. So like he said earlier, stick to like the Love's gas station or whatever, depending on where you're traveling from though too. So gas stations that have like little small business in it, or just truck stop ones where there's going to be a lot of people coming in and out, will be safer versus ones that are like abandoned and nobody's really stopping there. If you pull up to the gas station and it's basically bare, don't stop. Keep going. As long as you know that you can make it to the next gas station without having to stop. And don't be in there by yourself if you're not comfortable. Be careful of rest stops. When I rode with him, he didn't stop at rest stops. And a lot of that had to do with the areas that we were in weren't good for rest stops. Like California rest stops, don't stop at those. They're not safe. Keep going.
Once you get towards like the Midwest, rest stops are really nice.
Yeah, those
but
ones are
those
good.
Love's gas stations are kind of like a rest stop. They're just a big gas station that usually has like a restaurant inside of it and stuff like that. It's not too bad. You can get your food. And then if you're in Nevada, they have slot machines. You can go in there, play a 5.
As long as you're 21.
Not in Nevada. Is it 21 or is it 18?
Yeah, it's 21. You have to be 21 to play slots anywhere. Don't you?
Some states is 18, some states is 21. Same with the lottery tickets. Like Nebraska is 18, but Iowa's 21 to play scratchers.
Huh. Well, I've never really had that problem. I'm well over 21, so I didn't know that. And if you're traveling with pets, which we did, we traveled with Sandy and Cutie Pie. They slept the entire trip, believe it or not. What we did was we only gave them water. We didn't like constantly give them food like everywhere we stopped. We did give them food when... Sorry, thought I had to sneeze. We did give them food when we stopped at the hotel in Wyoming for the night. But that's just because they hadn't had anything all day. So if you give them food on their long road trip like that, it can cause them to have like stomach aches. Not every dog is like that, but our dogs have been known to just let it go wherever they want. So we chose to just give them water. And every time you get out of the car, let them out. Let them stretch, let them run, let them do their business. If they gotta go and just sniff around, just let them do that. It helps them to stretch and all that. But we had to force ours out of the car because they wanted to sleep.
You kind of covered the next tip.
Yeah.
If you... One of her tips is if your GPS lose signal, make sure to have a backup map. My experience, just know which roads you're on and how far you're going to be on that road. So if you lose signal and you still got another 200 miles on one road, then you know damn well not to get off that road.
Yeah. You can also, like, with your GPS, you can screenshot your directions ahead of time. So if you lose the signal, you can always have those on your phone still.
And most new phones, you can download the entire map, directions, and everything without having to have signal. So you download it before you even leave, and then you just have it the whole time.
Yeah. Because we didn't have signal in Nevada going through there, but we also had a different company.
And all we had to do was stay on 80.
Yeah. So it works. It just depends on your phone, your preference, however you work. My mom is like old school. She uses MapQuest here and there. It's sometimes our GPS. So it just depends on who you are and what you want to do. Know when you're tired and stop when you're tired. Don't keep going. Don't push your limits, because we have seen so many truckers on that road trip that was just all over the place, and we're like, why don't they stop? And he's like, I'm not even tired and they should be stopping. But he also knows his limits, because at that time he was used to working nights, so he knew how long he could stay up and work.
Not only know your limits, but know what can improve your limits. I think I probably had 10 monsters, probably 2 bags of sunflower seeds, and a whole bunch of nicotine. So I made their drive work.
Yeah. And if you need like music or something, or like a video playing in the background to keep you going, and that soothes you and it makes you okay, then by all means, go ahead and do it. Everybody's experience is different. Ours was this way. Josh obviously had to drive the whole time because I don't drive. I don't have my license. I'm working on that. Don't mess with me.
I wouldn't have had her drive anyway.
No. No. And there's a lot of construction where we were at. So just be mindful of that too. And them state troopers are out there.
Last tip I got for you is each state's driving limits are different. So your speeding limits for Nevada might be 75, but when you go into Utah, it's probably 65. And then when you go into Wyoming, it's 75, and then it's 80, and then it's 75, and then it's 70, and then it's 65, and then it's 80. So watch your speed limits. Don't get caught up short.
Yeah. Nobody wants a ticket in a different state. So those are just some tips and experience from our personal driving experience from California to Iowa. Part 1. Part 2 will be with my mom, because I had a completely different experience with my mom. So I figured that we give you the part 1 and part 2 and let you guys know how they are different. Anything else you want to add, babe?
No, that's all we got.
That's all I got too. Stay tuned for more videos, a new intro. I know I keep promising that, but I swear it's coming. And stay tuned for part 2. And we are the Marshalls. And bye.
Bye.